Masters Vessel Classical Academy, Primary Section. On the roll.
Good afternoon, children out there. How are you today? I hope you all are fine. That's good. My name is Okogbuo Oluchi Nkem. I'm here to teach maths in junior primary. Our today's topic is telling time in hours, minutes, and quarters. We are going to take them one after the other. By the end, before I proceed, I would like to tell you the objective of today's lesson. By the end of this lesson today, you are expected to do the following. 1. Tell time in hours, minutes, and quarters. Mention different types of clock. Identify longhand and shorthand on the clock face. And lastly, draw a clock. So, we are going to take telling time in hours. This is a wall clock. And for you to tell the time in hour, you must have either your wristwatch. This one I'm wearing here, we call it what? Wristwatch. Then this other one, we call it what? Wall clock. We also have other clocks. Like you have table clock, you have wall clock, different types. And also you have the wristwatch. All these clock will help you to tell the time. You cannot just tell the time offhand like that. For you to tell the time, you must have to look either at the table clock or at the wall clock, or you look at your wristwatch. So, for us to tell the clock in time, you must have to do the following. 1, like I said before, this is a wall clock. And inside the clock, you have the long hand. Let me draw it on the board. I said before, for us to tell the time in hour, you must have to observe the long hand and the short hand. This is the long hand. we call it minute hand. Okay. So this is the clock face now. Like I said before, this is my clock face. Inside the clock face, you have two hands. This one, which is this one, and this one, we call it the minute hand. We call it what? The minute hand. What did I say? The minute hand. Or you call it the long hand. Then you have the other one, hour hand, or you call it short hand. So this, if you look at the time here, you can see that the long hand, which is the minute hand, is at 12, while the short hand, which is the short hand, is at 4. So whenever the long hand is pointing to 12 and the short one is pointing at any number, that place that short one is pointing to is that o'clock. For example, this one I drew on the board now. The long hand is pointing at 12 and the short one is pointing at 4. So we can see that the time is we can see that the time is 4 o'clock because the long hand is pointing at 12 and the short one is pointing at 4. So for you to tell the time in hours, the long hand must be at 12. If it is not at 12, you are not telling it in hours. The long one must be at 12, direct. And the short one, anywhere it is that time. Assuming the long hand is at 12 and the short one is at 2. Shamaka, can you now tell us the time? The long hand is at 12 and the short one is at 2. Shamaka, what should be the time? Good. The time is 2 o'clock because the short one is pointing at 2 and the long one is directly at 12. So the time that time is 2 o'clock. Then I still say that this long hand and short hand, we use them, two of them are working together hand by hand. The long one, which is the minute hand, must be at 12 and the short one must point to a number in the clock face. Assuming the long hand is at 12 and the short one is at 9, the time then will be 9 o'clock. So let us look at another, let us proceed. We are now going to look at telling time in minutes. I want to clean this one now. Telling time in minutes. I'll draw another clock face. we can see that the clock is divided into two parts. From 12, from here, let me just do it outside the clock. From here to here, 5 minutes. From here to here, another 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 5 minutes. So if you count from here to here, it is 30 minutes. So from this 12 to 6 o'clock, from here, from this 12, okay, let me just do it outside this place. From this thing now to this side, we call it past or after. We call it past the hour. So from this side now, from this 12, from here to here, we call it past the hour. We call it past the hour. Assuming the long hand, this is the long hand, this is the long hand, this is the long hand. You just say this is where the shorthand started from this place. I hope you are following. Good. If you look at the board, you can see that I said that these are the minutes. From here to here, 5 minutes. From here to here, 5 minutes. From here, if you count from 12, you see that all of them are 30 minutes. That is from 12 to 6. From here, there are 30 minutes. So, from 12 to 5, and this one, I just remove something just small from 6. So we can see that from 12 to 1, and this one has removed something from 6, you can see that it is 5 minutes past 6. 5 minutes past 6. Some people, they say it's 5 after 6. But you better say it is 5 minutes past 6. Don't say it's 5 after. 5 minutes past 6, because from this is, 5 has gone out from that 6. That is why it is 5 minutes past 6. So you call it 5 minutes past 6. Assuming the long hand, let's just change the long hand. Assuming the long hand is at, let's just assume that this long hand is at this point. Yes, who can tell me what is the time there? When the long hand is at 3 and the short one is at 12. Wait, I'm coming. This one must change. Yes, who can tell me what is the time? Ngozi? Good. The time is 15 minutes past 6. 15 minutes past 6. If you don't want to say it is 15 minutes past 6, you can say it is quarter past 6. So if you look at the time very well, the time there now is 15 minutes past 6. Okay, let us change over to the other side, because I said that it is divided into two parts. This one now is the past the hour, and the other one we are going to look at. I will still leave this one. I want to draw another one. This is 12. This is 6. This is 9. This is 3. This is 1. This is 2. This is 5. And this is 4. Here you have 10 and you have 11. Here is, that 8 is very close to 9. Here you have 8 and you have 7. So we are now going to look at today, hour. Today, hour. This one is past day, hour. We are now going to look at today, hour. Then from 12 to 6. From 12 to 6. This side. From 12 to 6, that is this side. Let me just, we say it is today, hour. I hope you are following. Are you following? Yes. Okay. Let's proceed. From 12 to 11, 5 minutes. From this to this, 5 minutes. From this to this, 5 minutes. From this, 5 minutes. From this, 5 minutes. Then from here to here, 5 minutes. All together, 30 minutes. Okay. I said this one is today, hour. Assuming the long hand, this is the long hand. This is the long hand. I hope you all have seen what I'm doing here. This is the long hand. This one is pointing to 10. And this one is pointing, but not exactly to 7. So when the long hand is at 10, and the short hand is pointing to, it has not reached up to 7, but is pointing to 7. So from here you can see that the time now is, this is 10 minutes to 7. This is 10 minutes to 7. The long hand is at 10, while the short hand is not exactly at 7, but it's not exactly at 7 o'clock. From here, from 10 to 11 is 5 minutes. And from 11 to 12 is another 5 minutes, which when you put them together, it becomes 10 minutes to 12. Children, do you understand me? Are you getting me? If you're not getting me, tell me, Auntie, I'm not getting you. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Good. So if you look at this, you see that the long hand is pointing to 10, and the short one is about to point to 7. So we can see that the time now is 10 minutes to 7. So let us forge ahead. This is telling time in minutes. Then let us finally look at the last one, telling times in quarters. So Like I said before, this is 12 and this is 6. So from 6 to 12, you divide the clock into 2 parts. This is past 2 and this is quarter 2. So now we are going to look at telling time in quarters. When the minute hand wants to move from, let's say, 9 to 12, when the minute hand, that is the long hand, like I said before, from here to here, 5 minutes. From here to here, 5. From here to here, 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. So if you count all these 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, this is if you count all of them from here to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. That is 60 minutes make 1 hour. So if you count all these 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, they all make what? 1 hour. So if you look at this clock now, telling time in quarters, when the long hand is pointing to 9 and the short one is pointing to 12, we say that the time is. We say that the time is quarter to 12. That means from here to here is 5 minutes. From here to here is another 5 minutes, making it what? 10 minutes. Then from 11 to 12 is another 5 minutes, making it what? 15 minutes. So you count 5, 10, 15. So this shows that the time is quarter to 12. The time on the board is quarter to 12. Then this quarter to starts from 6. It starts from here. It starts from here, from after this 6. Anything from here. After this 6. Anything from here. Anything from this side to this side is quarter to. Then, assuming the long hand is at 20 and the short one is 8. So this one is now 20 minutes to 12. This one now is, the time is, it has changed. The time is 20 minutes to 12. So anything from here is to. Anything from here is to. But when it is from 9 to here, it is called quarter to. It is called quarter to, or 15 minutes to 12. So in our today's lesson, I've taught us about telling time in hours, minutes, and quarters. Telling time in hours, minutes, and the quarters. So before I leave, I have to summarize my lesson. Our today's topic is telling times in hour, minutes, and the quarter. I think I've showed us the long hand and the short hand on a clock face. That we use the long hand to show the minutes on the clock face, and we use the short hand to show hour on the clock face. I still said again that the clock is divided into two sections or two parts. From 12 to 6 is past after. Then from 6 to 12 is to the time. And I said again that quarter to, from 9 minutes, from this 9 pointing to when the long hand is at 9 and the short one is getting to any number, that time is quarter to that number. Assuming the long hand is at 9 and the short one is at getting to 3, the time now becomes quarter to 3. So I would like you to take this assignment. I'd like you to write down this assignment. Before I leave, I would like to give you an assignment, which you should do in our next lesson. We'll now go through it. So I will stop so far. Till when next we'll see. Stay safe and be connected. Thank you.